Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson. A tornado warning has been issued just to the south and west of the St. Cloud area along I-94, Watkins, Clearwater area. Here's the latest in this version of Hutch's weather.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, getting right to business. Here's the area where the tornado warning has just been issued. Down to the south on the I-90 corridor, more stout storms capable of sizable hail and a funnel cloud report right here between Breckenridge and Foxholm earlier today in the 3 o'clock hours. Well, let's take a look at what's going on in and around St. Cloud and get you caught up. This storm is moving to the I-94 corridor. If you know someone who's traveling along I-94 today, maybe send them a link to hutchesweather.com and make sure they're aware of this. This tornadic storm is indicated by Doppler radar as moving into Watkins right now. It does have a sizable hail core with it, as well as you see there in the blue. More on the rotation and exactly where it is as we pinpoint this momentarily. 1 1/4 inch diameter hail is possible with this storm. It is moving northeast at almost 50 miles per hour. Waite Park, Rockville, St. Cloud, Litchfield, Clearwater, all in the path of this storm, but most immediately that Watkins area. Let's get into that a little bit closer. Now, here's a couple of factors with this storm. You see this notch? That's called a V notch in the storm. That shows that this storm is rotating on both sides. Have you gotten any sleep? I'm taking it in chunks when I can. That's okay. Here's a look, though. Litchfield, the storm moved out of there, and it's now moving into Watkins. Let me take you to the single site radar data here. And as we pull on the Minneapolis radar, here it is, MPX coming in. Here is this kidney bean shaped storm right here near Watkins, is right where that rotation most likely is. The hail core on the north side. If you're in Clearwater, if you're on the I-94 corridor, pay attention. If you're driving along, you're going to go into the rain. There'll be hail, and coming at you is the rotating part of the storm that will follow it up. Don't park in this area of I-94 between Clearwater and the Sauk Center exit and St. Cloud exit near Pleasant Lake. Do not park in this area because of rain and hail. Get out of there. This is a dangerous storm, and in fact, you should be seeking shelter in Watkins. Let's look at the velocity display with this. Radar located in the Twin Cities. Motion toward the Twin Cities in green, away from the Twin Cities. Watkins is directly under the storm right now, and the tight rotation is right over you. You should be in your tornado area right now, as a matter of fact. So again, the Watkins area, this is right off of the Highway 55 corridor between South Haven and the Eden Valley area. Seeing a rotating storm working its way right overhead. As of right now, this is capable of 1 3/4 inch hail on the north side of that heading into Clearwater. The I-94 corridor is likely to see some of this hail as it works its way to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. Here is the rotating part of the storm. Look at this on the backside. Interesting feature there. We've got the outflow, the rear flank downdraft that's spinning around the bottom backside of this storm. Right here is your rotating updraft. Let's see if we see any other indication of what could be a tornado. Here's the storm relative motion, and it clearly highlights the area of rotation near Watkins. That's what we're looking. Storm relative, what is that? We're going to add in or subtract out the motion of the storm itself. Remember, that's significant. It's moving 50 miles per hour to the north and to the east. So the Watkins area right now is where this storm is located. That's where the rotating part is, right on Highway 55, just off to the east of town. That's a little bright spot. Watkins over here. So it's generally moving to the north and east. Now it is on its way towards the Clearwater area right now. And let me see if I click on this, if it'll give me a nice little ETA. Nope. Yeah, it is. Okay, so here's the rotating part of the storm moving in the general direction of Clearwater by 4:13. You only have about 10 to 15 minutes to seek shelter if you are in Clearwater. Everybody knows that famous rest stop out there. Best donuts on the interstate in that part of the country. In my humble opinion, it's just outstanding. But I got to tell you what, you got to make sure if you're traveling in this area that, or you know someone that is between Avon and this Becker and Monticello area in Clearwater, that there is a tornado that'll be heading towards there. There is hail making its way in first. Now, let's take a look at a couple of other parameters. Hutch is going to analyze this storm in real time right in front of you. Do you see this area of blue here? Okay, this could be indications that this thing at the very least is kicking up some nasty dust and debris, or it could be a debris ball. It's in the exact same or very similar location to the rotating part of the storm. So this could be an indication that we do have indeed a tornado on the ground. What is this I'm looking at? I call it target similarity. This target similarity is showing that just south of Cold Spring out here and north of Watkins, there is very low target similarity. So if debris gets lofted up into the air, think of things like stalks of wood, tree branches, hay bales. That looks a lot different to the radar than does, say, a perfectly spherical hailstone, for instance. So where we have different, unsimilar, low similarity, that's where we see the blue. So this very well could be showing evidence of that on that particular part of the storm as it's moving its way towards Rockville, St. Cloud. And again, the rotating part of the storm is here. It's showing up on the debris side just a little bit off to the other way. Let's go ahead and take a look at another product here. This is the difference in the reflectivities between the horizontal and the vertical pulses rather, and there is a pretty high difference there as you look at the highway corridor there, just off to the east of the Watkins area. So in all likelihood, also by the way, when we take a look at this, I'm seeing some evidence of some pretty significant hail here as well on two different cores of the storm, right here and right here. So keep that in mind. There could be some really chunky sized hail heading its way through, and it seems to be co-located with the rotating updraft in this storm, which would make sense. The stronger the updraft, the larger the hail that it can support. So as we take a look at this, I don't see that I have any data from chasers on this one at this particular time, but 1 3/4 inch diameter hail, storm moving towards the Clearwater area. Let me analyze that for you and show you when it gets to that area. Wowzers, that's a big storm and pretty tightly rotating with a lot of evidence that there could indeed be a tight enough rotation for this puppy to make contact with the ground if it isn't already kicking up some debris. Okay, so here we go. We've got the velocity couplet right here. That's what we call the rotating part of the storm. This is a pretty big polygon here to cover the wobble that this storm may go through as it works its way toward I-94. But this is indeed the area of concern right here, not far from Watkins now, exiting the Watkins area. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a path and a measurement of this storm system as it's working its way through. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw an area right here where there's rotation, and we're going to move it to the north and east. This bad boy is moving off at this direction at about 50 miles per hour. So that's only 27. I got to get way up here. Okay, and I do want to make sure I get the right towns. Let me do this again. I'm going to clear that because I didn't draw big enough. I think I need to zoom out just a pinch. So let me go ahead and do that. There we go. Zoom out a pinch. That way it'll give me more room to, it's moving so fast I can't get that motion in there. Let's go here. Let's go this way. And I do need to make sure that we're accommodating for the speed of this storm at about 50 miles per hour. So in Forreston at 443, it's basically about over you right now. Pease and Malacca will be on your on out toward that direction by about 447. Now, on the edge side of this storm, there could be some wobble to it, left or right. Let's get a more wide encompassing path of the storm, moving at 50 to 55 miles per hour. Clearwater. If you're in the Clearwater corridor here of I-94, 412, the storm will be near you. St. Cloud is in the path of this storm. If you're in St. Cloud, if you are in Sauk Center, those areas will be in the path of this particular storm here by around 4:14, and then on towards Forreston by 4:41, and later on the Malacca area. Okay, so that is the locator of the storm. Let me clear that off and let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit and show you the St. Cloud area. Rotating part of the storm tightly right here, making its way towards Pleasant Lake, passing in this general direction. Not going to be far from you folks in St. Cloud if it maintains its strength and rotation. So a dangerous storm. Please tag your friends out there on the I-94 corridor, St. Cloud, between, let's say absolutely Clearwater is in the path of this storm, as is St. Cloud, but right now it's passing through the Watkins area as well. I'm going to go ahead and take a peek up north here on my other screen, so pardon my eyeballs while I look around for some more data for us here. I'm going to take a look at that right now. Okay, so what I'm going to look for here is updates from the National Weather Service office in Chanhassen and take a look at what we got and see if they've got any feedback from this particular storm. So bear with me. Hearing reports of weather watchers rotation south of Kimball and any updates on the Kimball storm. Okay, that's good to know. And new warnings. Okay, so I'm not seeing any evidence or confirmation of anything on that particular storm right now from the National Weather Service's channels right here, but this is a dangerous storm. It is rotating, has showed some signs from time to time of what could possibly be some debris lofted in the air. So it's a dangerous one in a spinning environment with large hail. Again, I want to reiterate, if you are in the path of this thunderstorm, weak funnel clouds in Wilkin County. Correct. Holly, there was a funnel cloud that I saw a picture of shared with me. I can't share it with you until I get permission from the owner. So I'm looking for that upload to happen on hutchesweather.com. So if you're watching out there, oh, look, here we got it. Okay, I got it. Coming at you right now. Here's a picture of the funnel cloud that happened in Wilkin County. Some rain reports also. I'll go ahead and highlight that. Thanks so very much to all of you. And Melissa, thank you. Madison, thank you for uploading. Let's get right to it. So now in our neck of the woods back here, we're going to leave this area and we're going to come back over to this. Okay, so we had a funnel cloud report and actually confirmed by a photograph taken here between Breckenridge and Fergus Falls on that 210 road out there, not far from Foxhome. Let's take a look at hutchesweather.com. Hutchesweather.com, go with me there right now. When you get there, you can click on viewer picks here, or you can scroll down and click on the viewer picks down a little bit lower. Either way, you're going to get to this page here and you get to peruse the data and look at this puppy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is how close to the ground that funnel reached. Now, this thunderstorm base is flat right here. There's not a distinct real lowering of that cloud base called a wall cloud there. There may be one just like right there. What happens as rotation happens in the cloud, it drops the pressure if it's the right orientation, and that drop in pressure and the spinning motion and the lower pressure in and around that rotating can actually cause the condensation cloud to start forming. Now, if we were a little bit closer, what we'd want to look for is right on the ground and see if there's any debris getting kicked up. That would make this a tornado. But in this photo, we don't have evidence of debris getting lofted up here. This, thank you so very, very much. This funnel was east of Breckenridge, west of Foxhome, near Highway 210, in rural parts of Wilkin County out there. So that answered your question. Northeast of Bismarck, rain since last night, 1 inch. And Jeanette, thank you so very much. Photos of rain reports are all here. Tiffany, thank you for your uploads of the storm. This is in Comstock, not far from where we saw the funnel cloud report. Look at this monster storm earlier today. Tiffany, thank you so much. This is a Shelfie McShelferson cloud, Tiffany. You are right. That dark shelf cloud approaching is an ominous feeling, and that is the sign of a storm that is rolling its way towards you or away from you, depending on the direction of movement. What a beautiful photo there, very colorful, and really showing the magnitude of this storm. Here is the edge of that shelf as it made its way by the countryside there in and around Comstock. And cold front moving in, you could say that cold, drier air pushing its way in. But that is a very, very dark, low cloud to the ground, showing that we have moist air, very moist air near the ground that's getting lifted and creating that cloud that is shoving its way in. Beautiful shots, Tiffany. Thank you so very much. And if you have photos like that, head to hutchesweather.com anytime, anywhere. So that was your funnel cloud report and photo. Thank you so very, very much once again to all of you who have contributed photos to hutchesweather.com, including you. Thank you so much, Madison. Uploading the funnel cloud photo to hutchesweather.com. Thanks so much. If you have a photo, log on to your computer. Your mobile device can get there too, hutchesweather.com. Love to have your feedback and upload of your photos as well. Once again, another look at that active radar. Let's take a look at the big picture real quick while I sign off here momentarily. Good old-fashioned garden variety rain showers, Grand Forks to Jamestown. This band on the backside is non-severe. I do not expect severe. I do not expect any more severe in western parts of Minnesota. That threat is all but done. Even what's going on in Rapid City and the Black Hills here, that is good old-fashioned country rain. No lightning staying with it. Now, what's going on in Nebraska here, we'll be lifting out towards Sioux Falls and Iowa later. That's where the severe risk is. But for us, I think this is it. It is out of here and moving off to the east. If you are east of Bemidji, there is a lot of thunder and lightning there. The risk for some hail close to 1 inch in diameter will be possible. The risk for some gusty winds to say near 40 miles per hour is possible. Lindsay's question, where is the tornado warning for? I-94 right here out towards St. Cloud and towards Clearwater, if you know where that is. This is a very dangerous, tightly rotating storm with monster-sized hail approaching 2 inches in diameter, approaching the I-94 corridor. So the reason we're on telling you about it is that we have some very, very serious hail that's going to hit the corridor first, the interstate first. This hail core hits first. Here's the rotating part of the storm. That'll hit next. So you're going to get bombarded with very heavy rain and hail. Do not park on the interstate in this area and wait out that rain. Just don't go through this storm at all. This is tightly rotating, and it's going to be working its way out of the Watkins area. It looks like it's leaning a little bit more toward the Clearwater side as opposed to Pleasant Lake and St. Cloud. That could be some good news. You're very welcome, Lindsay, for answering your question. Driving to Lisbon, any news for the weather there? Not sure, Deandra, where you are driving from, but yeah, it's going to be very, very gusty, windy from the north, upwards of 55 miles per hour. In isolated areas, we could see even more wind. Now, the velocity with this particular storm looks like this. Let's see where that rotating couplet is. It is right here. Now, I got to mention to you, this is not gate-to-gate spin or shear until you get right here. This is not it where the heaviest, that is basically showing motion toward the radar here in Minneapolis and away here. That is a rolling of the air it's capturing right here. This is an outflow boundary heading towards it and maybe the inflow going up above it. But it is not the spin that we're looking for. The spin that this can detect would be in this orientation. It's right here. It's moving in the general direction of Clearwater. If Hutch had to guess, it's going to pass between Clearwater and the bend here as you go into on the I-94 corridor, right up here. There it is, the bend. There's no town there, but the big bend on the road that takes you out towards Pleasant Lake. So right here, that is where this rotating couplet is going to be pushing. It's moving at 50 miles per hour. It will not take long. As the crow flies, the rotating part of this storm being right here is only, let's see if I could get it, 6 miles. It's 6 miles from the interstate. It will be less than 10 minutes from the interstate. Hail and rain, very heavy hail and rain likely in these areas. Let's go to the Minnesota DOT site. Let's take a look at the road cameras. I know there's plenty of them there. Let's get on that. Let's go take a look at what's happening down there. Now, if you are in this area, you should not be driving between Clearwater and this tornado warned storm. Now, we do have some heavy rain making its way through. This is on mile marker number 176, 176. Tanner's asking, do you believe there'll be the severe chances are already gone for Becker County? I do believe that my gut feeling is the risk for severe weather has exited Becker County. Yes, all of Becker County. Here we can see some of the lowering cloud bases with this storm right now. So as you take a look, I'm not sure the direction. This is mile marker 180. You're looking off into that general direction here. And basically there is a lowering cloud base there. It's not blinding rain in that particular area just yet. So that's good news. Now, as we take a look at some of the other DOT cameras here, let's see if I can get right into the meat. It looks like it's just right over here. I don't see a camera by Kimball. That would be an ideal spot to be in right now to look at this particular storm. Oh boy, that's a pretty low cloud base there. That's some pretty heavy rain. Okay, there's some real heavy rain by Opportunity Drive, milepost number 173, as you're coming in to the area off to the east of Clearwater and a little bit closer to the St. Cloud exits. Now, as you take a look, there are some definite lowering cloud bases that are evident behind here, but these DOT cameras are poised to look at the road surface and snow and ice and road conditions. Here we go. Again, as you're looking in on I-94 in the general direction of Clearwater, we see some lowering cloud bases there. If we could look off in the south direction, we may have a better look at that. Let me see if I can find one a little bit off to the distance and get a view. Okay, this is on the other side of Clearwater, looking in the general direction of Clearwater in the eastbound lane. And what you're noticing here is some darkening of the sky there. Let me take a look at some of the other shots from this. Nothing is standing out here yet. It is approaching this area. This is the Enfield rest area, number 1. Showing up on that particular view right there. So nonetheless, we have a very dangerous storm that is working its way toward the I-94 corridor. This is working its way in towards Clearwater, Hutch's favorite stop for a break and a stretch along the road because they have some great donuts there at the rest area. Do not stop on the road to wait out the hail because the rotating part of this thunderstorm will follow. Here's a look at the radar data once again as we wrap up this update. Tornado warning, Clearwater, all the way out towards St. Cloud. The rotating part of the storm is right here. There looks like there could be just this little backward C hook right there. That is the rotating part of the storm. You're going to get the rain and the very heavy hail to be followed up by the rotating and tornadic part of this storm as well. I do not see that it's anything other than a radar indicated tornado right now. So I do not know if the National Weather Service has eyeballs on this particular storm or not. But what I can tell you is based on radar evidence, there is still some evidence of tight rotation, outflow from the hail and the rain working its way, wrapping up this way. And then at the updraft of the storm is working its way here. This is where the tornado would be. That is just outside of Clearwater as the crow flies. I think it was 6 miles moments ago. So if we retrace that here, we can put that at, oh, there's the Clearwater exit, 5 miles. It's 5 miles away, 4 miles away, and it is moving at 50 miles per hour. So less than 10 minutes, the rotating part of that storm will be right over the Clearwater area. So seek shelter if you're in the path of this storm in a sturdy structure. Get away from windows. And I love that rest area, says Lori. Thank you. Gopher says the shear is going nuts on that storm. Yep, indeed. There's a lot of shear. Yeah, we don't want the Nelson brothers. That's what A.A. Dolan says. So, you know what? That is in the path of this storm, I'm afraid. If you are in Clearwater, that's where the hook echo is. That's where the velocity couplet is. I will go back and look and see if there might be some evidence of debris real quickly. I don't want to belabor this, but it is a tool that we can use to see if the rotation is picking up some debris. Here is the location of the rotation right here. Any signature of what I'm looking for is way back over here. So it's not located with the rotating part of the storm. There was another part of rotation that was possibly up on this north side of the storm there, but I didn't see that. So I'm not going to belabor that point. But we do have, let's see, where's my triangle? Right here. No, I do see some target differences, high differences in the target in the general vicinity of where the rotation is. It's a little bit high up in the sky from the radar beam that's shooting its way from the Chanhassen area in the Twin Cities, but close enough that it should be able to depict pretty clearly. What I do see here, though, is we do have another core of heavy rain and maybe even some hail developing maybe on the back side. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Yep, right here. So more heavy rain and hail developing right here that was showing up on that hail core is confirmed by dual pole Doppler radar data here. This is going to be some sizable hail with that cell now that's going to be following up the rotation. So we have the rotating part of the storm moving into Clearwater, but on the backside we have another hail core developing. So that's a pretty significant storm there. That's what's going on. Clearwater area, south near I-90 corridor, down near Mankato. We have a line of thunderstorms working its way off to the east in a rotation-rich environment. These have been hailers, 1-inch diameter hail in and around the Windham area. As we look off to the west there, this is in Dundee. That's 1-inch diameter hail reported by the emergency manager. Here's a 3/4-inch diameter hail reported in 6 miles north of Orleans, down in that area. And as we look out towards Worthington, some 1-inch diameter hail reported out there. So volatile weather working its way toward the Twin Cities right now. We had one funnel cloud in our area right here, and we had the photo on hutchesweather.com to prove it. Go ahead and head on over there to peruse the pictures. And thanks again to all of you who have uploaded photos. We have more rain on the way. I'll have details coming up here on Hutch's Weather about the rain. If you are in the Clearwater area, this rotating core of the storm is making its way towards your area at this particular time. I think I will go ahead and take another look at these road cameras out here in the vicinity of this rotating thunderstorm. The rotating part of the thunderstorm is getting close enough, in my opinion, that it might even be visible by a couple of these road cams pointed in the right direction. So I'm just perusing. There you go. Okay, what you're looking at is the dark thunderstorm base. Looking in the general direction of Clearwater. I am making the assumption there that that is the direction we're looking in, because this photo doesn't tell me. I can play the video here, and let's just watch. This is live video from the Minnesota Department of Transportation. As we take a peek at what's going on here, I'll see if I can move this camera around, this camera view around just a little bit so we could see the lowering cloud base. So here you go. We do have some lowering of the cloud base here, the flat base of a common thunderstorm making its way into the I-94 corridor for a tornado-warned storm. Clearwater and points west on I-94 are under a tornado warning as you approach the St. Cloud area is where that is. So St. Cloud, Sauk Center, those areas, St. Joseph, but the core of this storm is moving a lot closer to the Clearwater area at this particular time. So that video we'll come back to and take a look at. Here's another view from another direction and another view from another direction. Let's see what this looks like. Milepost 176, I think we're looking in the opposite direction now, and very heavy rain, even lower cloud bases. Trees are bending over just a little bit and don't even have all of their leaves yet. Here is the dark core of the storm that we'd be watching for. Very heavy rain. We'll watch and see if we get some hail. Look at that. That moving right across the screen right there. Was something pretty interesting as it's worked its way through, maybe just a sheet of very heavy rain. So here you go, moving right across the I-94 corridor right now. Very torrential rain. I don't see any evidence of hail ping-ponging off the road surface at this particular time. Don't stop on Interstate 94. Get out of this area. Get out of the Clearwater area. That is the area where the storm will be making its way through. You can definitely see either a wall of very heavy rain or a lowering of the cloud base evident right here. Semis are slowing down here because the rain is becoming blinding, and there is a tornado warning in this area as it's fixing to cross the Interstate 94 corridor. Looking at another camera, let's see if we're getting closer or farther away. To me, that looks farther away. Blinding rain in this particular view of the storm. So we'll go back to the other one. That was Opportunity Drive. Oh my goodness. Here we got hail. Hail. This is milepost 176. Do not stop. Get out of there. This is not a good place to be. That semi looks like something may have happened there. I don't know if it's tipped over, but it is stopped right there. Get out of the way and get out of here. We do have some hailstones evident in this, bouncing off of the road surface. And this is milepost 176. Let's see if I can locate that on my map finder here. I don't have mileposts marked, so I can't. That's going to be really close to that Clearwater area. Huge hail careening out from this cell right now. You can see it pounding the interstate live. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. Hello, Hutch. We got a lot of rain today in Grand Forks and wind. Judy, thank you for that. You're looking at a view right now, and if you go ahead and tag friends, that would be a good idea. I think I will do that as well as I go down here to the comments section. I'm going to go with @followers on this. So this is the I-94 corridor, and this is the Clearwater area. We should not be stopping on the interstate right now. There is a tornado warning right in this immediate area. It's going to be preceded by really huge hail. You can see right here, even though the leftover hailstones are really good size there. It looks like this semi is pulled over for safety reasons, but there is a tornado warning making its way into this general vicinity as well. So we'll keep our eyes on this. It looks like flooding rain at this particular location. Let's go back to this location. Here we go. Let's play this video as we're looking now in the general direction of Clearwater. And this is basically, I believe, the low-hanging clouds associated with this. The rain that we're seeing is just off in the distance out here. The hail core making its way in. So all of these all this traffic that's going westbound on I-94 here, traveling into the meat of this storm. These are some pretty low clouds. I don't see anything that shows me that there is a tornado in contact with the ground at this particular juncture on this camera view. I am concurrently looking that now the tornado warning has been extended to St. Cloud. The tornado warning has been extended into St. Cloud. We're going to go to that camera very shortly, but you can now see these little tails on this storm system on the backside as well. So let's take a look at another storm camera view in St. Cloud, and we do have some flooding rains showing up in town here. We do have, let me go back to that. I want to look at the sky. Okay, a little grainy, but I'm not seeing anything there. A lot of road surface. This is very, very blurry because of the heavy rain making its way into the St. Cloud area. As we get a little bit farther south, let's go on the Highway 10 corridor here. So let's go through Clear Lake. Clear Lake, this area here, I believe that's Highway 10. Working its way through. The storm will be on its approach to this particular area momentarily. Let's get you updated on the latest on the new tornado warning. Little Falls also under a severe thunderstorm warning now, as things are really happening quite quickly. Thanks, Kathy, for highlighting this part of the video. Tornado warning in and around the Clearwater exit on I-94, moving into St. Cloud. A hail core is getting ready. We just showed you video of hail pelting the highway. You do not want to stop here. The rotating part of this storm right here. Do you see that little backwards C shape? That is what we would call a hook echo in the hail core right there. Hail gets centrifuged out from that rotation, and the hail, big raindrops, they all start getting thrown out to the outside of the rotating part. That's what creates hooks. Now, as we take a look at the velocity display, is that co-located right here with where the, yes, okay, so the rotation moving right over the interstate and now just leaping over to the other side. Motion towards the radar in Clearwater and away on the other side. So this tornado is just off to the east of Clearwater. And let's see what the Weather Service says. Moving northeast, 44 miles per hour, 1 1/4 inch diameter hail. Location, St. Cloud, Clear Lake, Foley, and the Doolm area as well. So let's go ahead and the St. Cloud Airport, all in the path of this particular tornado warned storm. If you happen to be in Royalton, if you happen to be in and around the Buckman area of Highway 10 here, going up northeast towards Little Falls, there is a rotating thunderstorm pushing up in your general direction. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for these areas as well. Let's time this system out. The thing is over Clearwater right now as we speak, the rotating part of the storm pushing to the north and to the east. And basically, St. Cloud area is in the tornado warning. St. Cloud itself is right here. That's why we weren't seeing anything. This is the hail core that's making its way across the highway right now. Let's go ahead and look at a couple of the areas in the path of the storm. I'm backing up because it's moving so fast. So let's do that. Let's highlight the area of rotation right here. And now let's move it to the north and to the east at 50 miles per hour. Here we go. Okay, so some areas in the path of the storm, Forreston by 447, the rotating and tornadic storm will be near you. Pease by about 448 and Malacca by 452 and onwards toward Mora if it continues in that direction. So that is a look at the timing of when things are going to make their way in. Here's a look at the radar data. And again, the pink core is the hail core that hits first, and then the rotating part of the storm moves through. I'm going to go back to the DOT camera site here and take another look at that as we look into Minnesota and that Clearwater area where this storm is moving through. We were seeing an area getting pelted with hail near Clearwater. Let's get you in a little bit closer. Let's take one more quick look at Clear Lake. The rain shield is making its way in first, so that's what's going on there. Now let's close this window and take a look at down by Clearwater. Here is the Clearwater exit. Oh my goodness. We do have some extreme heavy rainfall making its way into Clearwater right now. If we play this video, because it is a live stream, we can see the rest exit. Boom, we've got somebody stopped under an overpass. Not a good idea in a tornado warned storm. This can funnel and actually accelerate some of the debris from the storm. That semi-tractor trailer driver there is trying to get out of the winds and keep from being tipped. You can see ping pong ball or something ball-sized hail here bouncing off of the road surface as that hail core works its way into the Clearwater area at this particular time. So on I-94, if you are at, let's say, the bend at St. Augusta, you can safely stay there or near St. Cloud. Stay in St. Cloud heading east. Do not drive into the Clearwater area. Huge hail and a tornado warned storm is working its way through. Here's the thunderstorm base, and now we can see through it to the other side. So the heaviest of this part of the core is moving out, and it's almost through the Clearwater area, but we are seeing some really big hail being pelted down here in Clearwater at this particular time. So let's go ahead and take a look now at another camera, maybe up a little bit farther to the east of Clearwater. Here is a look at this particular one. More people parked under the underpass. We discourage this. because of if there is a tornado, it can actually funnel that debris and increase its velocity. Not very many places for you to go and seek shelter to. You cannot stand up here. You're getting up higher off the ground. You're going to be pelted with debris if you go try to get under that place. The best place to be if a tornado warned storm and you encounter it in your vehicle is the lowest place you can find, a ditch or a culvert, getting out of it once the tornado threat is gone, because the flooding threat can take over in that particular area. If you know somebody traveling in this area, might want to go ahead and tag them in this particular post here, because it's some dangerous stuff making its way through the area of Clearwater, the Clearwater exit on I-94. So if you're unfamiliar with where that is with relativity to Fargo's here. As you're traveling to the Twin Cities, you go through Fergus Falls, Alexandria, Little Falls, and Shazam. Once you hit that Clearwater exit after the St. Cloud exit, that's where we're talking about. That is where there is a tornado warned storm making its way into, basically heading up towards the, let's see, what lake is that? Rush Lake, Briggs Lake, Julia Lake, and the Clear Lake Airport. So Clear Lake, you are in the path of this storm. Let's check in on intensity here. We see that in and around Clear Lake, we have different various views here, and most of them showing some very heavy rain making its way through. Clearwater now, the hail core is making its way through town. On the backside of the storm, we're starting to see the daybreak on the backside here and traffic moving along. And let's go ahead and play the video so we can see. Oh my goodness. People are moving the cameras around here to look at the clouds and see what we got going on. Okay, so let me move this up. Okay, that's the area. I'm imagining the DOT is moving this for the National Weather Service and maybe for the emergency managers in the county to take a peek at this storm in 360-degree fashion. This is called Scud, scary looking clouds. Right above the camera site, we got some pretty wicked looking low clouds there as well, making their way right over Clearwater. And that is another Scud cloud right there that's attached to the parent thunderstorm. So if a cloud at the base of the storm is attached to the parent thunderstorm, that's dangerous. Some of these clouds that look like they're spinning and they're not attached to the parent thunderstorm are what we would call a Scud cloud, or I like to call them an SLC, a scary looking cloud. So you're looking live. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. This is in the Clearwater area, the Department of Transportation camera here being scurried about to check the skies for the National Weather Service and for the emergency managers to see where we see down here. That's it. That's the area of concern right in here, as where we have no ability to see into the dark part of the cloud. Lightning strikes usually and often do increase in intensity and frequency in and around severe thunderstorms. This little floaty cloud right here that seems to be by itself, that would be a Scud cloud. That's kind of common, maybe a little tail or inflow on the backside of this storm system as it's working its way to the north and east. I'm also watching with my third eye over here a look at the radar display showing that the Clearwater area does have a hook echo making its way through again. So I will detour to that right quickly, and then we'll get back to this. This is a really helpful tool in meteorology to have a network of cameras with your Department of Transportation that can be moved around like this so that we can take a look in the bird's eye view of what these storms are doing. As you're looking into Clearwater here, it looks like these storms are very low and the clouds are very low, very heavy rain. And moments ago, we did look at another camera that had evidence of some hail. Here's what's coming into Clearwater right now as we take a look at the radar. You're not in the clear yet. You are not in the clear yet, and in the least, because as we take a look at this, it looks like weaker echoes. The hail core has now moved on up here into the general direction of Highway 25. That's where the hail core is. There is a rotating bite taken out of the storm heading to the lake here, but this little bite here is what they were scanning the skies for, and in and around that, that looks like a hook echo, and is that rotating? So let's go ahead and take a look at the velocity product, and yes, there is indeed rotation right there, but this is motion toward the radar. This is motion away from the radar. So this would be a backwards flowing tornado, or what we would call a anticyclonic tornado here. That can happen. Okay, some tornadoes have been caught and videoed that are rotating the other way. More than likely though, it's this flow here and this flow here that is the meat and potatoes of the rotating couplet. This is the rotation. This is the counterclockwise circulation right here, heading toward the Highway 25 corridor right now. That is where it's at, moving to the north and east. It's moving at about 45 to 50 miles per hour as it's making its way through. I did not see any confirmation of a tornado. I am going to effort to look at that from the National Weather Service feed right here as well. Report of a tornado. Okay, let me see. This is a different area, so don't yeah, okay, so that is, let's go to that. Report of a tornado on the ground. A tornado warning is coming. Let's go down to that storm in that area. Fairmount. Here it is. New tornado warning. This is down south of Mankato, heading in the general direction of Mankato. Let me get to a different radar here. I think Sioux Falls might be a little bit better to give us a view into this storm. Yeah, there is a couplet with this particular storm as well. Here is the tornado warning. It's the pink box. A little bit difficult to see, so I'll switch the radar data. But where we see the greens and the reds is likely the area that we have a tornado. Let's see what the National Weather Service says. Tornado possible. Radar has indicated that's the severe thunderstorm warning. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can get the data from the tornado warning. A confirmed and observed tornado is on the ground. And based on what the National Weather Service says, it's moving to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. So if you are in the path of this storm here near Welcome and Fairmount, there is a tornado observed on the ground in this area moving northeast towards Truman and towards Amboy and Winnebago at 60 miles per hour. Again, that's the core of the tornado. Let's take a look at the velocity display here. We're not seeing a lot of really enhanced hail core with this. There is one right here. We do have a little bite taken out of the storm. It's moving right near the Fairmount area. That is where the Fairmount storm is. That's the tornado warning. If you're in Northrop, if you're in Truman, if you're in Grenada, you should be seeking shelter in an interior room of a sturdy structure in the lowest floor possible as this storm is making its way to the south and to the east. Here's another little notch taken out of that storm on the south side near Dunnell. If we look at the velocity display, once again, I'm going to go ahead and factor in the motion of the storm itself. This sometimes is a little bit more clear to see. Again, motion towards the Sioux Falls radar, motion away. Right over Fairmount, we have a couplet showing up on the radar display right now. Now, if there's a tornado in contact with the ground, sometimes they pick up debris and we can actually see evidence of that. And yes, indeed, we do have the blue here. That would indicate that there could be debris lofted by this tornado moving into Fairmount right now. So this is a dangerous situation for you folks in Fairmount, and you should be in your tornado shelters immediately. This storm is very dangerous, has tight rotation. It's a confirmed tornado on the ground, and that's what's going and moving into Fairmount at 50 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and back up just a little bit, and we'll track this rotating couplet. We'll go ahead and put a pardon me, a path on it here. I want to be as accurate as I can possibly be. Now, this is going to be a very wide area. It's moving at 60 miles per hour, folks. This is a racer. Here are some towns in the path of this storm. Fairmount now. So again, as mentioned, you need to be in your shelters now in Fairmount. If you're in a mobile home, a manufactured home, you don't have much time, but you need to get to something more sturdy, get to the lowest floor that you can and seek shelter. We do also have a little bit of a hail threat with this. It's moving in the general direction of Amboy by 4:54, Mapleton by 5:03, so about a half hour from you. And we'll keep you posted on that particular tornadic storm with a confirmed tornado working its way into Fairmount right now. I'm going to go to my toolbox over here and look over at the DOT site once again for Minnesota. Thanks for watching. Ethan says, or Claremont, Minnesota, where grandparents live and located at. That's where my mom lives. Is this tornado going to hit St. Joseph, Minnesota? So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these questions. But first, let's see if we've got a camera view. Whoops, how'd I get into Manitoba? I hope it's not snowing in Manitoba. Let's go back to Minnesota. They both start with M. Maybe that was Hutch's mistake there. My apologies. Looking in on Fairmount now, we do have a camera view off to the west of town near Welcome. There is some rotation showing up there. This is a camera view of what's going on. Susan, thank you very much. Little Falls, there's a severe thunderstorm warning for you. Thank you for asking the question, Heather. I'll get to you. That's not a tornado warned storm. There was some weak shear with that storm system, though. I'll keep you up to date. Now, as we take a look, there's dark skies in the distance here. Let me make sure you can see them. There, dark skies. There they are. Now, so this is the welcome area. In Minnesota on I-90. As we take a look here, we're just looking at the road surface. I'm not seeing anything here on this. Oh, here you go. And this is the way we want to be looking. This is the cloud base of the thunderstorm. That is a torrential rain shaft and core right over there on the right side. So we must be looking off to, I'm going to guess, the east. It says I-90 east-west view, view number 4. It doesn't tell me the view, and it's not a video it's not a video camera at this particular location. So that's the best view I can give us there. And we can look from Blue Earth and see if there's anything we can see from that distance away. Not out of the question that we might be able to see it, but no, all I can see is very, very dark skies off in the western distance there from you. So for this area, the Fairmont area is making, it has a tornado right over the top of the area right now. We do have an asterisk over here. Is there a crash? Let me see. Yes, there's a westbound I-90 crash that has taken place. Could be weather related, but no confirmation for sure. There's definitely weather making its way through the area. This storm is moving towards Amboy, Mapleton, Good Thunder, Beaufort, and St. Clair as it heads up into the southern portion of south central Minnesota. So south of Mankato is where this storm is at. I don't think I'm going to be able to see much from the Mapleton area. It's a little bit hard to see in the trees, but there are some dark skies out there for sure, but I'm not able to depict any structure or storm structure that would indicate this. So a dangerous storm making its way through Fairmont now. A confirmed tornado on the ground working its way northeast at 60 miles per hour near Grenada. And that is a look at that. Now, let me see what else is coming into Hutch here. Information flying in on all channels. So we'll just make sure that we got that. Okay, all caught up. All right, let's get back to the Clearwater area and answer your question about Little Falls. I'm on that now as well. Let's go ahead. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is to the north of the tornado warning. So let's go back into this Buckman area, Little Rock, Lastrup. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. And let me get to the radar view of this too, but I don't see any cameras here that are going to give me any really good looks at this. We can look in Royalton here at the very dark skies just outside of town as these storms made their way through. This is the Highway 10 corridor, of course, as you're working your way between the cities and, say, the Brainerd Lakes area and such. And definitely some very dark skies as those mean storms are working their way through. I don't see any evidence there. Now, checking in on the tornado warned storm, let's look in on Clear Lake. This storm is in the area. The warning does continue, a tornado warning. I'll go ahead and get back to the radar data on that particular thunderstorm as it has a tornado warning just outside St. Cloud. There has not been a confirmation with this particular storm of a tornado on the ground that I know of. It's all radar indicated. And now let me go ahead and get you over to the radar data for this particular storm. Clear. And clear and clear. Okay, so now here is a look at the storm. I got to get a different radar. Let's go to this one. It's close enough to the Twin Cities. We should be able to see. So Little Falls, the severe thunderstorm warning is off to the east of you off of the Highway 10 corridor. So keep that in mind. You are on the better side of the storm system and storms are exiting your area and your risk of severe weather is decreasing now. It's not zero, but it's decreasing. In St. Cloud and areas to the south and east, we do have some stout thunderstorm activity. Let's get right back to the storm relative velocity, looking for that shear. And yes, you can certainly see the greens and the reds next to each other in this particular tornado warned storm. Where you see this little triangle here is where the rotation is, and it's moving towards generally rural portions of the county off to the west of Princeton. On Highway 23, it looks like, and south of 23. So south of Foley, right here. That's going to be moving in the general direction of Pease if that rotating part of the storm does continue. In Clearwater, we still have Well, the development of maybe another storm system down here that has very, very weak shear. This one has some pretty intense shear going on here as we look across the county line. And Highway 95, I should say. Highway 95, it'll be crossing that corridor and heading in the general direction of Princeton with a little bit of a lean this way. So in all likelihood, the path of this rotating part of the storm heading toward Princeton and points north towards Peace as we look at the latest velocity. How fast is this storm moving? 44 miles per hour is the latest calculation from the National Weather Service. So the rotating part of this storm moving in this general direction at 45 miles per hour. Here is an estimate of when it will be Princeton, 452, and in Bach by 503. Pease, by the way, 454. So we're coming up on that in the next 15 to 20 minutes that the rotating part of that storm will be making its way in your general direction. Some sizable hail with that storm as well. We saw that pelting Interstate 24. Thanks, Ethan, for joining my YouTube channel. I'd appreciate anybody interested in go ahead and subscribing to that channel. To get updates, you can hit the notification bell on my page to get those notifications as well. So that's what's going on now. We did have that funnel cloud reported in and around Wilkin County. We have no severe weather up in the northern part of the state. In fact, we have good old-fashioned rain showers making their way into parts of North Dakota. Very gusty north and now northeast winds blowing through. This is the direction of the wind. As we take a look at the velocity of the wind, let's see what our peak gusts have been now on the backside. You can expect the north winds, once they hit, to be the end of your severe weather threat across the area today. Here is a look at the wind gusts for today. All right, here we go. So peak gusts from the the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network, Cass County, Clay County, 50 to 55 mile per hour gusts in northern Cass County, north of Fargo. Fargo hitting a 38 mile per hour gust at the Endon site, the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network site. Over 40 miles per hour in Crookston and Grand Forks. Crary, 42 miles per hour. This core of very gusty winds extends down into the James River Valley in Edgeley, North Dakota, and those gusts have hit near 50 miles per hour. I'll look at our precipitation over the last 2 days since this storm system started last night out west. Over an inch to almost 2 inches in eastern and northeastern Montana and the oil patch. A whole bunch of nothing going on with that dry northwest wind in parts near Minot and Rugby, all the way up to Bottineau, and even in towards Crary, where we have a third of an inch, a rapid decline as you go through the rest of Benson and Morris counties here to near zero. Where we do have some beneficial rain that has taken place is from Bismarck, points south into South Dakota. Over an inch of rain recorded there. Steele, 9100ths. That's not too bad. How about Jamestown? 2.06 inches of rain there and counting, as we still have some rain showers in the area. Edgeley picking up more rain. There's a batch of rain right over this area that will be winding its way back through, so we will add to these totals. So many will see between 1 and 2 inches of rain. Much of Cass County, North Dakota, near Fargo, Castleton, seeing 1 to 2 inches of rain. Getting into Lakes Country, a little lull in central parts of Otter Tail County, but anywhere from 1 inch in and around Becker County, all the way up to or down to, let's say, 3/4 of an inch in and around you folks in the Morris and Benson area as well. So that's what's going on. We do have an active tornado warning. We have 2 active tornado warnings in central and southern Minnesota, not far from St. Cloud and not far from Fairmont, where we have a confirmed tornado on the ground. The Minneapolis area, Mankato, does have a severe thunderstorm warning pushing through that particular area. We have a very stout thunderstorm. You'll notice that a couple of these have red flashing on them on Hutch's color table, and that means that a tornado is possible in the National Weather Service's discussion of that particular storm. So the one that is making its way into Northfield, this storm here moving through Mankato, tornado possible, 1 inch diameter hail, gusts to 60 miles per hour. In other words, all severe thunderstorm threats are possible. Storm is exiting Mankato and heading towards Northfield. And at this particular time, the storm is showing, let's see, is it showing any signs of rotation? Let's go ahead and pop up the severe look at rotation in the storm from the Minneapolis radar, and I am not seeing strong, well, maybe down here by Madison Lake. There is some pretty stout away motion here and some here evidence of some motion toward the radar. So Madison Lake does have some shear or spin in the storm in that particular area that is fairly strong. Eagle Lake outside of Mankato as well. There is some rotation in that particular thunderstorm cell taking place right now. A tornadic thunderstorm with a confirmed tornado on the ground moving out of the Fairmount area heading in towards Mankato and Mapleton in the coming time. So we're going to have some training going on. These storms are moving east. These storms are moving northeast. So you could see more storms moving into Mapleton, Mankato area after this batch makes its way through. The threat moving into the Twin Cities right now as we approach the 5 o'clock hour is real. We do have the radar from the region showing that we have the storms. Individual storm cells are moving northeast. You can see it. See this V notch here? Okay. What happens when we have a storm that's blowing in the wind field from southwest to northeast? And this storm system taking on what we would call a rotating thunderstorm will create this little V notch in the top of it because the south side or the southeast side of this storm is rotating this way, counterclockwise. The north side is rotating clockwise, and it creates a little V notch in the overshooting top of the cloud in the rain field. So that's what we're seeing there. And then we do have still near the interstate some indications of some hook echoes making their way near Becker, and another one south and west of the south and east of the Clearwater area. So this storm here continues to show some pretty tight rotation. The tornado warning has just been extended to Princeton. We saw that in real time here. Tornado warning has been continued until 5:15. It does include Princeton, Santiago, and Glendorado, as well as Pease and Princeton in parts of central and eastern Minnesota right now. And it will be crossing the 169 corridor between Malacca and Princeton shortly. This tornado warned storm is moving at 41 miles per hour. Okay, so 41 mile per hour motion with that storm. And looking at the velocity display once again, here we'll take a look at just straight out velocity, and you can see the greens and the reds next to each other right here heading in toward the Princeton area. Still a very defined area of shear in this storm working its way right over the highway corridor now, and that's Highway 95, and it will pass likely very close to Princeton. And just south of Pease and Princeton are both in the tornado warning. If you are anywhere in this area or points in between, you should be seeking shelter in your sturdy structure. Now, as far as Clearwater goes, we still have some fairly stout rotation going on in and around Clearwater. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the DOT cameras out that way once again and highlight what is going on. If you're just tuning in, my name is Hutch Johnson. I'm a meteorologist, have been chief meteorologist on broadcast stations for the better part of the last 30 years, taught college level meteorology for the better part of 20 years here in the region. And I appreciate you tuning in to me for details on your weather information today. Love streaming, love talking about weather. I love answering your questions. Oof, that rotation marker is directly over their house, says Caitlin. I'm sorry. I hope they're seeking shelter and warning. We have another crash to report too. Ethan, stay safe, everyone. Yeah, indeed. That's exactly why we're here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this storm system now with the tornado warning. I'm going to go back into the Clearwater area here. The Clearwater area. Okay, so the DOT site here not quite keeping up with the storm warning that I'm seeing here, but let's get back down to it. Here we go. So I'm going into Clearwater. There is a tornado warning up here. Let's go to Clear Lake. Not seeing much evidence of anything damaging going on in Clear Lake. That's good. That's been the trend. The storm now is working its way in the general direction of Santiago. I have no cameras here that can help me see this. There's the Glendorado area that is in the warned area as well. So not a lot of camera views here that I'm afraid that can be helpful, but in and around Clearwater, as we go into that particular area, we still see pretty nasty looking storms and skies over that area. And we're seeing redevelopment of storms that are training through the area. So the sky continues to look pretty terrible in and around the Clearwater area. As I look around at some different camera locations very close to this site, we'll go ahead and take a look on the Let's go to the other side of Clearwater and see if we can see. So this will be to the south and to the east. And yes, look at the dark skies here, heavy rain, low cloud base. So these storms that are working their way through there continue to show some signs of rotation. So if you know someone, or if you are traveling on I-94 in this area of Clearwater and points north and east, basically in the general direction of St. Cloud and points east of St. Cloud, we have some storms that are producing some big hail, continue to show signs of pretty tight rotation. And we have some very gusty winds evident with these storms as well. So you're looking at a live camera feed from the Minnesota Department of Transportation in this area of Clearwater, and that's what's going on there. Now, as we take a look at another area of concern down towards the Fremont area here, that storm was making its way in the general direction of you folks in Amboy. No good cameras there, but I do got another westbound crash here showing up on I-90. So I do believe some of the heavy rain and maybe even the hail may contribute to some road condition issues out here. So please slow it down just a little bit as you're traveling through these areas. I'll go to the Mapleton camera out here as we take a look across parts of southern Minnesota. Dark skies aplenty out there. Lost resolution on this to show any detail with this particular storm, but from Mapleton you can certainly see, I'm assuming you're looking off to the west there, at the coming storms that are in that general vicinity. Now, moving up into the Mankato area, off to the east of you, we do have a tornado warned storm. Look at these clouds here showing up. This location is US 14. US 14 and looks like Highway 22 as well. So some low, looking like what you might call them sawtooth there on the base of that thunderstorm cell, working its way through this area. And again, darkening skies in and around the area. This one from Waseca. So these storms are definitely some dark ones out there. Let's see what's going on with this particular storm. I don't see any other cameras. Let's go to Ottawa and see here what we got there. A lot of trees, hard to see through trees, folks. So this area is in a severe thunderstorm warning, so you want to be careful if you are in this vicinity. Severe thunderstorm warning with a tag that says a tornado is possible, and I was seeing some rotation on the south side of this particular storm, not far from where we were seeing this lovely cloud, or less than lovely cloud, or threatening cloud, I should say, off to the north of Waseca. So that's what's going on in southern parts of Minnesota. Tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. And now as we look up to the north, we do have some threatening skies and quite a bit of thunder and lightning showing up as we go up into northern parts of Minnesota as well. So up near Hibbing, I'll take a quick look up here as we go in towards the Grand Rapids area. There have been some thunder showers up there, non-severe, just good old-fashioned rain going through, and I'm seeing some pretty flooded roadsides out here as well, as there's quite a little bit of water coming down with these 1 to 2 inches of estimated rainfall. Okay, tornado warning continues for the Princeton area. That storm is moving right into the Princeton area right now. We'll get to the radar on that right now. Here we go. Pardon me. Okay, so you're looking at Princeton, Minnesota. This is north of Clearwater. This is the storm that's pushing off to the north that went through Clearwater, continues with very tight rotation on the backside of the storm here. This will be moving in towards Princeton as we speak. So here is our shear area, the spin in the storm working its way. Looks like it's passing to the south of Pease and heading through rural parts of the county. But if you are in the Princeton area, that is a dangerous storm in that particular area at this time. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look here. Pardon me while I turn the sound off. Looking at some chaser video and some results near this storm, some folks in the general vicinity, and trying to see if we've got any confirmation of anything on the ground. There are a number of eyeballs on this storm that are keeping their eyes on it. Yeah, it's a nasty, nasty looking storm, as many folks are in the Fairmount area. This is Fairmount, Minnesota down south, and that is just ugly, ugly video from the chasers down south. The Princeton area, I don't have anyone on that one that is chasing at this particular time near St. Cloud, where that tornado warning is, that I can see. But down near Fairmount, that storm definitely has some evidence of low cloud bases and very dark skies. Grenada, Winnebago, these areas are all in the path of this particular tornado warned storm. The tornado or tornadic part of the storm is just north of Grenada, south of Truman, moving to the northeast towards Amboy at this particular time. Checking in from West Fargo. Thanks, Vicki, for checking in. I appreciate all of you. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Dangerous weather continues to head in the general direction of eastern Minnesota and western parts of Wisconsin. We do have heavy rain that's continuing here across the valley. We'll have a band of rain showers that will work its way through Fargo, through Grand Forks as this system exits right now. A nice area of dry quiet as the low pressure center is pushing off to the east. The risk of severe weather in western Minnesota is all but done. This is just going to be cold, very heavy, wet rain. We do have thunderstorms that could produce isolated areas of, we'll call it threshold severe, moving through the arrowhead of Minnesota towards Thunder Bay. Rainy Lake getting rainy as we speak. But the activity south of Brainerd Lakes area, will it hit Brainerd? It's not out of the question, but the threat is going to be rapidly moving off to the east of you as we head into the evening hours. So that is a look at what's going on right now. Pardon me. I am going to step aside and continue to keep you updated here. You're watching Hutch's Weather. Thanks so much for the likes and follows here on Facebook. Thank you for also your subscriptions to my YouTube channel, Hutch's Weather. Hutch'sWeather.com, anytime, anywhere for the latest in weather information, including interactive radar, including if you give me on this page your zip code, local watches and warnings that will be updated as well. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson checking out. Thanks for watching.